Hello, everyone, and welcome back. It is time for a halftime show. I just got a comment first. C9 taking that win there. That was a strong performance, Magical. I know sometimes we have doubts, but that was a good showing.
It was a great showing. Honestly, I've had some reservations. I also am not like the biggest fan of when teams have a lot of subs. It's not their fault always, it's visa issues and whatnot. But to see that they have most team back and just how powerful that Cheatin and Darshan were together makes me have high hopes for this entire squad going into the future. Now I'm even more excited to see when King and Destiny step in.
Yeah, I just needed to say that because I was impressed with what I saw, but we'll put that aside. We'll have a game later so we can and about them more. First off, it is time for some Pictionary and see who's gonna be the victor this week in this year's little game show segment. Quick update on the rules. I am gonna draw something. There is no line, no cue, just guess away. They're
Go.
not specific champions or something. It's about something that is relevant to the game that we just watched, whether it's a situation, whether it's someone stepping up, whether it's about you two. Something that's related in that sort of sense. We're all good?
We're good.
We're good.
Chicken nuggets.
I still can't believe that you got that. For context, last week I drew 3 circles. Joshi instantly knew it was chicken nuggets and the Raptors. And
Were you just hungry?
No, it just
Both of you.
looked right. It just felt good.
All right. Well, Joshi was insane at the Pictionary, so Magical. We'll see how you perform here. Pull up the board. I will edit the board on my end because, oops. All right. To start things off, wow, I am not a good artist. I will throw that out there.
Okay.
All right.
A ghost.
Here.
Jackal.
Oh.
It's Jackal. 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 Jackal.
Yellow. Bet
It's
a
Gromp.
mountain of gold.
Oh, it's Scrooge McDuck. They got really rich. Cloud9 did.
Yeah.
Cheating. Yeah,
Okay,
cheating.
okay.
Yeah.
Cause y'all, I don't know how accurate that answer is with the Scrooge McDuck, but yeah, no, that is C9's massive gold lead that they're holding on something that
Yeah.
that
I said Scrooge McDuck. That's close enough.
That's close enough. So we will give you the point. We'll give that to you. So
All
magical,
right.
magical up 1. All right, ready for the next one? Let's
go.
And I kind of feel bad for this next one.
Is it Baron? It's Baron.
And no.
Wait, I don't
Is
even
it-
see anything drawn yet. Okay, it's a cup. It's a cup. Is it
The straw.
turret?
Cup with a straw. Someone died drinking it. Poison. They got poisoned.
No. This is signifying a player, I'll say that, but I want the answer to
Smoothie
be a
getting caught
bit
out.
more.
Smoothie getting caught out.
Oh. Yeah, is
Smoothie-
it Smoothie just dying a lot?
Nope.
Just, What other players?
I think it's Smoothie. I can't think of anything else.
Surdy getting dough.
Hee.
All
Yeah, I
right.
think no.
The
It's
tea?
definitely Smoothie. It's
All
gotta
right,
be
this
Smoothie.
is something with Smoothie. This is something that happened around mid-game.
Is it when like there's a team fight, all his friends died, and he was like the one surviving?
Yeah, there we go.
All my friends are dead.
don't remember the play.
Wow. Okay, Magical. I
Look,
see you.
I only know you guys by your your gamer tags. Like Joshi is Joshi, Sierra you're Sierra. I don't know what your real name is. And same thing here. It's like I don't remember things past like 5 minutes.
All right, yeah, it was a big teammate that happened over in mid. Everyone around Smoothie died, and C9 were just having a good old time
go.
all around. So, all right, for our
Were they having a good time? Were they having a good time?
Someone was having a good time. Cloud9 was having a good time.
Yeah.
yeah. All right, let's see.
That's Gromp.
Talia. Talia blowing somebody up with rocks. What was the cape?
No, that's someone
Huh?
flying. It's Kale. Kale hitting level 16.
Yes, let's
Oh
go.
my god.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yoshi, you gotta step it up
I-
here, bud. What is
I don't
this?
know what's going on. It's just not hitting
Did
me. I
you
guess I'm
like-
not hungry enough for it this time.
Are
around.
are the drawings not good at, like, what is there something wrong with the drawings?
They're too
Everything.
good. They're too good. That's the problem. I'm having trouble keeping up. I can only get it when it's
alright.
really abstract.
Good is a word I would probably choose in my sentence when quantifying the drawings.
Yeah?
All right, don't lie straight to my face. All right, magical
Oh, I'm
up
not
3.
lying. I just
Joshi
you don't know
with,
what the other words are.
Oh right, Joshi at 0 right now.
Mm.
All right, here we
This
go.
has got to be Grump.
There's always Grump. No crap.
Exactly. No crap.
Okay.
Someone
Somebody's
yelling.
moving Is this Darshan escaping from the top lane?
Oh no, is it Surdy escaping from
Nope.
the bot
Okay,
lane?
you're drawing largely off our screen, so we see a little bit of a line. But somebody
yeah.
running
Is it
very
off?
quickly.
All right. Let me pull this
Oh, here we
back.
go.
Let me
Here we
pull
go.
this back.
Bot
All right.
lane.
Oh, is this?
This has got to be Surdy's great
Oh, is this
escape
the-
bot
this is the
lane.
big
Or
fight.
no, is it when Surdy gets punished
No, this is a
bot
big
lane
fight
for
bottom
overextending.
lane. I think this is when everybody's fighting bottom lane. They're trying to chase down Wixie, and there's that big old fight.
Oh,
EG, they're running bot lane. They try and chase down, but then they
Oh,
end
no,
up...
no.
Are they trying to dive bottom lane? And they failed? They got rooted?
All right. Is okay. So
No, they got caught. This is when Smoothie gets hit by the root in the bottom lane. Yeah?
Okay, you're going way too specific on it. All right, it was it was after the Baron or EG's like, nah, C9, we're not gonna let you take
Nah.
this, and then he's like, okay, we're gonna run down to the bot lane, like we're gonna try and make something happen, and Cloud9's like, all right, it's like you're going down to the bot lane, but you're just gonna absolutely perish there. So
Oh, okay.
I'll give you like
A lot of things that happen bottom lane.
that is true. That is true. Since there was a lot of things that happened bot lane, and it did involve the fact that EG kind of got like not having a good time. We'll give you half points on that. Does that sound fair?
I'll take it.
I'll
Not
He needs something.
blown out of the water.
Needs
Half a point.
need something. All right. Yeah, I gotta delete this one. All right. My bad. We're gonna take this and go. Whoop. Later. Good. Goodbye. All right.
Grump.
Yeah, that's got to be
Okay.
Grump, right?
Okay,
Or is
this
it
looks...
Kale again?
Is this Kale again?
I think it's Kale again. Is this
Is
when
it Kale hitting
T-
level 16 a second time?
No, this has got to be Kale when she
No,
TP's
it's
away.
like the little like.
When she got dove top lane 3 times?
No. It's got to be the bot lane when like Surdy was pushing and then TP'd back to the turret.
Hmm.
Oh,
Oh,
all right.
very
Let's think about
strong.
it.
Is this Fiora getting very, very strong
is this-
later
oh,
on
no,
in the
no, no,
game?
no, no,
Because
no,
those
no,
are
this
big
is-
old muscles.
This is Talia being super fed.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
I tried to draw the little thing that she has in her hair. I don't.
I don't know if you know this about muscles, but you don't have, one, 2, 3, 4 biceps.
Maybe you don't. Okay.
Maybe you don't magical.
I'm just
The rest of
saying,
us.
like, we're good. We're zacked out here. All right. Well, that's still another point. At least what you lack in muscles, you make up for in Pictionary skills. All right.
It's called making up in brains. I'm the big brain here.
That's why we already know Kelsey thinks that Magical is the best analyst in the entire
Biggest
talent
brain
pool, so
here.
I don't
Yeah,
know what
yeah.
to do about it. I can
All
beat
right.
up Eric, but I just can't beat up Alex. It's not the same.
Big brain.
All right. We'll do last one here.
Okay.
And this one's going to be
This
a
is
simple
Grump.
one.
This
Just
has
a-
got to be Grump.
Just a nice way to sum up our day. Make sure I'm in the right spot.
Grump. Oh, C9.
Cloud9 versus
Cloud-
Evil Geniuses.
Cloud9,
Cloud9 raining on the parade.
Yay!
yeah,
Raining
yeah.
on their parade. Let's go.
There you go,
Let's
Josh.
go.
You got an actual real point now. You got
A real point.
Yeah.
Congratulations. That's okay, to sum it up, as I get word on how long till champ select, Magical with 4 points. Yoshi with 1.5.
You
Gave me a
tried.
half.
You tried and
It's
failed.
just like inches, right? I'm 5'8.5". We got to make sure that's in there.
It
Is that
adds
why I got
up.
4? Because I'm 6'4"?
Yes, that's what we're sticking with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're so Georgie. I just want to know what happened. Was it last week, the Pictionary, this was your strong suit. Just
I don't know. I feel like I just
Got
like led
outbrained.
magical to all the
Outbrained.
answers. Like, you know, it's like, oh, it's the thing. He's like, oh, it's actually the other thing, and just couldn't make the leap as quickly.
He just got outbrained. It's as simple as that.
He's in. Yeah, he's too mad. Magical.
Yeah, all right. Well, I'll make sure that for next time that I draw something that maybe is a little better for you, Joshi, or maybe next halftime show we can see what you can get up to.
More
It is time to
circles.
head back into the game, though, to see at this point if Evil Geniuses have what it takes to tie this series up, where if Cloud9 is going to continue brewing up a storm. Champ Select's ready. I'll see you two later.
All right, we'll
Bye.
see you afterwards for a nice player interview as well. But with both teams remaining on the same side, I'm really curious to see what kind of adaptation Evil Geniuses are going to throw at Cloud9. Maybe it's simply just taking that Talia earlier on, because it was a first pick Senna that came out of Cloud9. Well, they ignored the Talia, but this time they're just saying, hell no, Sheedan, you're way too good on that champion.
We'll definitely see some adaptations coming through, right? I can't imagine that Evil Geniuses are going to opt into the same kind of skill matchup up in the top lane after the thrashing that they got. Because the Talia, you know, although the Talia champion was very strong, it wasn't the issue at the end of the day, right? There's plenty of
Wait a
other
minute.
teams that have done very similar things.
Look at the bans. Talia Zeri by Evil Geniuses. That means either Graves or Kindred, or both, are going to get through Champion Select.
Yeah, and so there's lots of opportunities still available, right? We know that Sheedan had a lot of Viego games. He played 4 of them in the first week, and then you had Wukong and Lilia. So there's still plenty of opportunities, but they're going to be going tried and true, it looks like. The Senna, once again, flexible between Wixie and Trevor. Lots of opportunities, and this is kind of passing it back, saying, Evil Genius says, you have to make a move. You have to tell us about your composition.
Yeah, and I'm curious with Evil Geniuses if they themselves will draft either that Kindred or Graves, essentially forcing the hand of Sheedan to play the other, because he's got the whole world as his oyster at the moment with the 2 champions, but that's something we just haven't seen let through by any teams that have faced off against Cloud9 thus far.
I expect we're going to be going to see Tiomio right on back to the Viego. It's just been his most played so far. It's been one of the most popular champions on the patch, and there we go. But Ezreal, Viego coming right back. Very similar to what we were saying before, but as you said, this leaves Sheedan with one of his most played characters, something that we know he has so much impact on, right? It's almost one of those situations where, you know, typically we looked at Malice, the previous Cloud9 jungler, somebody that was constantly going to be power farming, but Sheedan, he can farm, but he's also super strong at these ganks. You know that he's looking to find advantages a little bit earlier on than Malice did.
And when I see Kindred plays as well, usually it hits that level 3 early gank that is attempted by most Kindred players, because that could net them an early mark right out of the gates. And seeing that it's Sheedan playing it, I expect that kind of aggressive play, looking for more than just a coin flip, but an early snowball in one of their lanes.
And you also know that, like, the Kindred, it can't necessarily do all of its camps super healthily at the beginning of the game. You can't really do the Raptors until you're already level 3 anyways. So you have to take very different routes. You often see red Krugs blue, or red Wolves blue, or red blue Gromp, right? Looking for opportunities to hit level 3 as quickly as possible, and then go on to the rest of the map before eventually coming back to the Raptors. So not only is it something where Sheedan looks for this, but it's something where he's kind of forced to try and find some of these early game plays and get Cloud9 a lead. Now, was Darshan who was the big recipient of this last time around? This time, he will have another opportunity to try and find something very strong, but I'm a little bit surprised to see Malphite ban coming through.
To me, that screams that Surdy is going to pick up his champion before Saligo. That they want to make sure they're getting something as comfortable as possible that is blind pickable by Surdy, especially with how bad that matchup went last time. I mean, I'm sure you don't want to necessarily opt into the skill matchup, the counter matchup yourself, but you want to make it so that Saligo, who did a great job on that Azir that got banned towards him this time around, has the best potential spot.
Yeah, it almost makes me wonder if Evil Geniuses are looking to first pick like a Fiora or a Camille or something like that. Even a Gnar, right? Something that is really heavily countered.
I'd imagine a Fiora
historically.
Yeah, I would imagine just Fiora because it's a Surdy.
Yeah, he's pretty good at the champion. Fiora can really struggle into it, and we know Darshan's the kind of player who's willing to drop ego sometimes. With the Gwen ban coming through, I feel like we kind of have to see the Fiora coming through at this point.
And There it is, instantly locked in for Surdy in that top lane. That's kind of what we expected. Hold on for the counter pick into the bot lane. Belveth, keep in mind everyone, not enabled on this patch. Going to be next week we'll see her probably played, if played at all. I know there's some numbers that need to be tweaked in order to actually see her, but we'll hold off on that for now.
I think the champion's pretty good already, but we'll see.
But she doesn't have enough AP scaling, man.
Oh, true. Unlucky,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
this champion has plenty of AP scaling. Interesting choice coming through for Copyright. When he's going to be blind picking, chooses Lissandra, something relatively low range that can get really poked around by the side of Evil Genius. And so, Cloud9 with a much shorter range composition this game than they had last game are not going to be able to go for the same kind of 1-3-1 split. They're going to be a bit more focused on grouping up, looking for some picks. And now, Copy and Sheen are going to have to move around a bit more. But let's go, Nar coming through a classic Fiora counter pick. This is definitely a strong pick. We know Darshan has been one of the best players, the best pilots of this champion, and even when the champion's not good, you can expect that Darshan's going to have a good game on it.
See, this is why I expected to see Surdy on Fiora, because he's much more confident on the Fiora play, while on the other side of the matchup, it is Darshan, who is very confident in that Gnar matchup, but we gotta change our focus. Saligo is playing Swain?
Let's go. I've been looking for this champion for a while now. I got a couple of nerfs on 12-11. It's not quite as strong as it was on the previous patch when I was expecting it to be seeing a little bit more play. But Evil Geniuses, they now have a lot of ways to just kind of get stuck in. Once the fight actually starts, they're going to be in a good position. But their question is going to be, how do they start it?
I don't know, but I do want to kind of put this to you, Josh. While I guess Swain did receive some nerfs on this patch, with Grievous Wounds also getting nerfed, I feel like that kind of compensates for the nerfs that Swain got and still makes him just as powerful.
A little bit, yeah. He's definitely going to be a situation where he really thrives against lots of melee champions where he can get into the middle of them and then stay there. But one of the things that I'm a little bit worried about for Saligo on the Swain right now is going up against a lot of fairly mobile ranged champions, right? He's going to have to try and get on top of Kindred. He's going to have to try and get on top of Senna. He's going to have to try and stick up with Gnar. And they all have a Tahm Kench, so if only one of them mispositions, you can save that person and take them right on out. So there's lots of play coming through here. I like the fact that Saligo is experimenting a little bit, bringing out the Swain, and as we jump into game, it's going to be a big opportunity for him to showcase once again why we were so excited about him in our previous game.
And for Saligo and the rest of Evil Genius's fates, they want to bounce back into this one. They had that nice 2-0 last week against Golden Guardians, but dropping that game one in a brutal fashion to Cloud9 in the first game of this best of two. This could be their time to really prove that they, even if they have only switched out one player on their entire roster, that being Skytech and Smoothie, they're still a team that we have to consider in the top of the categories.
Now they gotta find this win, right? Again, I want to go back to what we were talking about at the beginning of last game, Alex. Cowrie and Smoothie are not performing at the level that we were hoping that. We were not seeing the version of Cowrie that took control of Evil Genius's games towards the second half of the split. And we need to see that step up. Wixie and Trevor did better than Cowrie and Smoothie. Cowrie kind of, there's that one play that we talked about. It's like, is this an int? Is it a worthwhile int? At the end of the day, it didn't work. It didn't look good. We need to see him go for things that are a little bit smarter, a little bit more thought out, and things that will actually find advantages for the team.
I love this, though. Darshan was hovering around that blue buff pretty heavily, making sure there's no attempted late invade from Tomio, but there's already the vision placed down by Surdy onto the blue, so they knew that it's actually going to be Shiden on the bottom half of the map, answered by that of Tomio. And being Tomio looking into this Kindred matchup, I would expect to look for an early fight between the two.
Whoa, I'm actually really shocked to see that Shiden is going to be doing his Raptors, it looks like.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Kindred players will complain that this camp is impossible to do early on in the game, but he's going to be doing it anyway, and he's going to be.
It is Shiden playing Kindred. Keep in mind.
He's got to have some tech that a lot of other junglers don't, because everybody else says like, nah, just don't do it. Go for a bunch of other plays, but yeah, still very healthy.
Yeah, he's fine. He hasn't even popped any of the potions yet. He's just holding off on those. He was perfectly fine.
There you go. Well, sometimes if you're just better than all the other junglers we know, then it's just going to work out. But he does get spotted out on the ward, and so that does give Surdy a little bit of advance notice that he is not in the safest position. And so he needs to be careful that this wave doesn't get frozen on him and allow Darshan to just kind of take control and hold Surdy in a position where Sheedon can find easy ganks.
So I will, going back to the conversation about the jungle pathing and how Sheedon was able to get the Raptors, I think it does also go in, like this works into his favor. Probably didn't use Smite on red buff. Had a nice hard leash from Wixie and Trevor, so probably waited to Smite on Raptors to get that pretty quickly. But I talked about an early fight between the two, and Tomio has spotted out Sheedon. They can look to turn this around, especially with how far out Saligo has pushed up. They're going to spot him out using the eyes to get the stun afterwards, looking to see if they can burn the flash early from Sheedon, who's trying his best not to. Had to flash, though. The ghost for flash is a worthwhile trade for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, that's a bit of a slower play than he was looking for as Darshan, trades back pretty effectively. But because the play was a bit slow, he's not able to actually show up for the red buff in time. So at the end of it, it definitely feels like Tomio finding an advantage against Sheedon on one of his best champions. And
credit to Surdy in this matchup. You talked about how it's the Gnar counter matchup into Fiora. And while, yes, the health bars on both sides is not necessarily the healthiest, with a fat minion wave about to crash into the turret, this could be the time to try to see if you can really break open the counter matchup. Make it so that Surdy, who's been holding the line fairly effectively, no longer can do so.
Okay, but Sheedon looking for a potential dive. Big wave.
I like this. Using that flash to get the stun. Copy claws out of there. Let the flash in from Soligo. Chasing him down. He might be able to show unlimited power to the face of Copy.
Oh, good stuff coming through. Soligo making sure he doesn't use all of his mana on his Q. He waits for the E, but Surdy going aggressive at the wrong time.
Oh no, Surdy, you gotta respect the cheated and baited with this play once onto you. That's why you had to flash away. You will survive, but it's at a big cost.
Yeah, definitely losing a fair amount of experience of Law of this wave is going to be pushing out because it's going to be hitting the same minion right when they come through. But at the same time, we're already seeing Evil Geniuses off to a much better start, Alex. Tomio finding an opportunity to go mid lane.
But bot lane, we're seeing that Trevor and Wixie are not afraid of this Ezreal Karma bot lane. They are forcing out flashes. They are forcing Copy bot lane to say, hey, they are overstepping their hand with no mana for Cowrie.
Yeah, and this is a much more successful bottom lane as well. Trevor is significantly far behind where he was farming last time.
I was about to say, well, let's take that with a grain of salt. That was a good trade from Wixie Trevor, but a plate was taken by Cowrie. So he goes back, comes into lane with that TP with a Sheen and a Tear of the Goddess.
Yeah, and he's got a lot more CS, right? Last time we were seeing that Trevor and Wixie were even in CS, but Cowrie's got a lead. He's really taking it to heart. He wants to prove that he is still the best AD carry in Academy. So a much more balanced game and a small advantage coming through for Evil Geniuses, and they're looking to extend it. Trevor hasn't backed yet.
I love these plays from Tomio this game. This is the Tomio we were expecting in the pre-show, playing aggressively, constantly, lane to lane, so they can pick off top lane, they can pick off mid, and they can pick off Wixie.
Good stuff, another kill, and 2 souls going over to Saligo on the backside. This is just Evil Geniuses playing so much better than they did the first time around. They're looking really good, and they're going to be coming into their power spikes very soon, right? Swain, now on that level 6, is so much stronger. Surdy has gotten past some of the worst parts of the Gnar matchup, and now Darshan doesn't have the same kind of lead he did. The dive didn't work.
No, they got the flash out of Surdy, but that's it. They couldn't make a further play after that. Every single lane is in a great spot for Evil Geniuses. Even if it seems like maybe top lane has a bit more CS for Darshan over Surdy, like you talked about, the counter matchup should favor the Gnar. And the fact that Surdy's still in this game, hasn't died at all, and just scaling up, they're perfectly set.
Yeah. And he should be able to recover almost all this CS, right? He's effectively even, depending on how much harass he actually takes while he's underneath this turret. But it's definitely a good position for Evil Geniuses. Now, the question is going to be, who is going to be the big carries? Who's actually going to be starting fights for Evil Geniuses? They are really good once they get in, but how do they actually get in to start these fights? Last game it was Saligo, and I think it's still on him to try and find picks.
Well, see, and this is something I was trying to bring up earlier, but just didn't have enough time. there's not really good, reliable CC on the side of Evil Geniuses, is there?
No, there really isn't. Like, you have Viego's stun, and then you have Soligo's root, and that's kind of it for things that you can expect.
That's
to
reliably,
actually
yeah.
land during the course of a team fight. Yeah, and you know, reliable in air quotes even there, because they're not the easiest things to always land. But Surdy being aggressive right as Darshan actually gets the Mega. Tomio is here, so that should stifle a lot of aggression.
Well, that's why Darshan didn't just jump forward recklessly. Like I said, I think that's also why Surdy was more than content with playing up, saying, I got my jungler to back me up just in case. I don't have to worry about a dive. But speaking of junglers, Juden had started up that Rift Herald since both mid and top are pushing in favor of Cloud9.
Yeah. And I think one of the other things that made Surdy feel more confident is Darshan's ult was down, but Smoothie going really aggressive here.
They're trying to force this play before Trevor gets Devour's my thought process. With how low Wixie is and how low this next plate that they can take, the second one of the game, this is a lot of power that Evil Geniuses need to use over Cloud9 before they can play aggressively. Before you have to worry about Trevor jumping in, devouring either Wixie or even one of the carries. Now this time, it does seem that Cloud9, while they had a good play initially, might overextend.
They should know that Tomio is behind them. Yeah, Spidey senses are tingling. Tomio will take this Krug camp away while they wait for Evil Geniuses to bring in the wave. So that's going to be a wave pushed out. And look at Wixie and Trevor. This is a little bit more of what I was expecting from the first game, right? Double CS from Carry over Trevor. The fact that Wixie is consistently having to pick up some of this farm means that his soul rate is going to be lower. Now, the gold is still going to be fairly okay for Wixie, but it's definitely a situation where Trevor is going to be so much less tanky this time around in the exact same matchup.
He is very much struggling, getting a lot more attention from Tomio earlier. That is netting him more positive results, not over diving, not trying to see if they can get a play onto Wixie and Trevor underneath the turret that goes awry. Evil Geniuses just look like they've cleaned up a lot of their play from game 1 to game 2.
Yeah, it just feels like they've calmed down in a lot of ways, right? Like, they're not trying to put out fires in the top side. Their confidence is still around, and now it's going to be Cloud9 once again looking for a play top.
There's a lot of people there, too. Copy ends up retreating from the play, going back to mid lane, afraid of... Actually, Soligo without CB, I'm surprised he went back. I thought they would just fully commit.
I almost feel like Darshan called that off, right? As a top laner, if you got this
possibly.
big freeze and, you know, the rest of your team ganks, there's like, well, I had a freeze, but now I don't.
That's fair.
I had to commit to the rest of the play. But he knows he can get an advantage anyway, and it's very safe for him to just kind of sit here and prevent Surdy from farming for a little while. And this is, you know, I said that Surdy might have gotten past the worst part. I kind of forgot that this is really the worst part, where we have a little bit of opportunity. Nar's range isn't an issue for him anymore of being so short, and he can actually consistently harass. And now he gets to play fun mind games every time he's in Mega of, can I actually get the repost, or am I going to be able to bait it and throw you into a wall?
That is true, because you got the Thwomp as well. You can then throw them into the wall afterwards. You can only riposte one of them. So at the moment, Surdy is playing cautiously. Even if he's down in experience, down a level to Darshan, he's just trying to see if he can get this wave unfrozen, because that is the detrimental part for Surdy at this point. And now that he's laid out the grand challenge, he's got a lot of damage flashed away from the Thwomp. Darshan, he has flash available, but he's got what he needed. He got the flash out of Surdy early. The wave unfrozen isn't the best position, but mid lane. This is a play attempted onto Soligo, but look at how much he's drain tanking at the moment. Still alive. The red buff burn is not enough, but Cheaton will take him down with one simple auto attack and healing up. But the return, wait a minute, the turret got the kill onto Cheaton for Soligo.
Huge damage coming through all at once from the turret, but Carry and Smoothie aggressing.
They're playing aggressive. They're getting... Oh, what? Calorie just kills Trevor before the thick skin.
Crazy stuff coming through, fighting all across the map, and it's going at least even for Evil Geniuses every time. Good stuff coming through from Sheen to actually pick up the kill in that fight, having presence of mind to know he can go forward to actually get the last hit. But it's still a situation where Evil Geniuses are feeling pretty darn good about their situation across the board. Look at how far ahead Carry is compared to the bottom lane of Cloud9. 2,000 gold up on each of them.
4 plates for Cowrie at this point. Not even with the Rift Tail, just getting that much of a lead, punishing Trevor and Wixie for even just stepping up towards them and making sure that each play is calculated. This is night and day for Evil Geniuses.
But this is also a little bit closer to how I was expecting things to go, right? I was expecting Darshan to be a better laner than Surdy, but I wasn't expecting him to be so much better than he was last game, right? This is very, reasonable. He's got a counter matchup. Darshan has about a 20 CS lead, as you would expect based on the skills and the matchup coming through. But this bottom lane has come alive. Carrie's figured out, no, I'm not losing to this guy who is currently subbing in and his teammate who hasn't played Academy before, right? Cowrie is saying, I was the TCL MVP and you should fear me.
With the 2-0 lead, certainly will be feared. And then looking at the builds across the map, Celigo has opted for the more supportive route in that Imperial mandate.
Yeah, it says to me that he's going to go Rylai's next, making sure that he can get everybody else on his team to do as much damage as possible. But it does kind of answer some of our questions, right? Like, how are these fights going to get started? It looks like it's going to be Celigo taking control of that this game as well.
Put himself into a position of power to be the ringleader of the team. The one that will start everything for them. Doesn't necessarily have to be shot calling for them, but okay, Trevor, that was a greedy play. Even if you have Copy nearby, you took a lot of damage for it. That Copy can't now turn for the fight.
Okay, but top lane...
Surdy's fine, looking for the boulders connecting. They've got a lot to hit onto Surdy, but he's underneath the turret at this point, and no Meganar anymore for Darshan.
Ooh, both circles not quite filling up there. Neither Kindred nor Nara can get the third hit passive off, and so they are not going to be able to go for that play as Tomio takes away another camp from Sheeden. This feels like a much better, much cleaner opportunity right now, and so as we are starting to get into this mid-game magical, Cowrie isn't rushing for the Muramana like he did in the previous game. Instead, he's got the Essence Reaver completed, and so when we start looking at the third dragon now, very early on in the game, Cowrie is going to be at maximum power. And so suddenly, the TCL player, the import who's trying to follow in Luger's footsteps, is going to be in the position to take control. Watch how he outranges. We'll see if he can have the same kind of positioning that we were praising him for so much in spring.
And just moving that power from bot lane up to mid lane so they can try to fight around the Rift Herald. Sheeden is looking for a replication of that top lane play before, but this time being more successful with the first tomb landing on it to Surdy. He dives in, doing his damnedest to fight back, but we knew he was dead once we saw that Sheeden was hiding in the brush.
Yeah, it turns out it's hard to repost point-and-click instant stuns from Lissandra. So, yeah, ends up being a bit of an overextension there without the flash. But it's still a situation where Evil Geniuses are definitely in the lead. And Cowrie, look at the aggression coming through. The Ezreal allows him to do it.
A vessel dive away by Trevor. Not wanting to give more gold over to Cowrie since he is already standing very strong, as you had called out. Close to getting the Muramana completed as well.
Yeah. But one of the things that we got to pay attention to from Cloud9, something that they did really well last game that we didn't touch on, was their control of the side waves, right? They were always in position to pick up the maximum amount of money they could on the map. And again, we're seeing that Darshan pushing things in will be able to have a growing CS lead.
That's a lot of damage from Cowrie. I mean, Wixie's starting to really struggle in this matchup.
True. When you are as far behind as this, when you are playing with an Umbral Glaive against two almost completed items, you're expecting Cowrie to have so much money. They're funneling even more into him, giving him this mid lane turret about a minute before we actually go in for the dragon. So he's going to have an opportunity to back and spend even more of that gold if he wants to.
And at the moment, with more gold for Cowrie, the fact that they're building Celigo more for the supportive style, it really is just reading like this is the whole setup beforehand. But now, Darshan versus Surdy, nice Gnar ult into the wall. It gets essentially a solo kill for Darshan.
Yeah, great stuff coming through. That's what we were expecting to see. The Darshan playing the Gnar. He gets to play the mind games. He's got the Trinity Force completed, and that was clean, right? You are only able to do that animation cancel if you hit the rage while you're in the middle of the op. So good stuff coming through from Darshan, knowing his champion and setting them up to start pushing back, right? Because they find that pick right before the dragon, Surdy can't participate.
Well, this is starting to look like, even if it's a little bit more favored for Evil Geniuses this time around, very similar in some essence to the previous game, where it's the top side of the map that is doing really well for Cloud9. Sheeden and Darshan are looking to get to the points of power to really contest with the powers of the bot lane. Cowrie far more set up this time. Same with Soligo, having gone for the Imperial Mandate, is in a perfect position. No, there's no one there.
This
Yeah.
is cheeky. I mean, but sure, he's thinking about it.
He was thinking about it, but I think he's also like, wait a minute.
Why didn't
Who
you
are
finish
you
hitting the
people?
turret?
Right. There's a lot of question marks in his head.
Yeah. So it does mean that there is a bit more time. Cloud9, they spend some of their tempo to try and actually find that plan to Sturdy, but because they're late to the top lane, it ends up being a turret
my
trade. So not that bad. What do we
Josh.
do? Is it the 4,000 gold lead for Carry?
It's nearly the gold lead, both combined, of Trevor and Wixie that adds up to Cowrie. That's what I'm oohing and hawing about.
Yeah. He's slightly better than 10 CS a minute, right? 183 at 18 minutes. He's taking total control, and this is what we've been asking for, Alex. This is what I was
This is
looking
what we
for
expected from Cowrie too.
This is what we, yeah, it's what we expected, right? And so now that he is in control, if Evil Geniuses don't win this game, it is going to be confidence shattering. And so now they got to tighten it up. Now they can't let up the pressure from what they've been doing thus far. Cowrie needs to continue playing super aggressive in the upcoming fight.
Ouch! Got a lot of damage onto Sheedan right there as well. Using that W with the True Shot Barrage to chunk Sheedan down to half. He'll heal up from the help of Wolves, but that sees pressure onto this tier 2 mid.
Yeah.
A good chunk of damage comes in from Cowrie.
Actually, I do want to point out some small thing that we've been seeing
Alright,
a
what's
little bit from Cloud9 though, because they've been double split pushing, as we call it, right? You have both of your solo laners, or sometimes your solo laner plus a jungler off in the side lane pushing together when there's not a threat, right? Surdy is getting this wave pushed in, but only now is it even in a spot where he could contemplate hitting the turret. But Darshan doesn't need to match him, right? Because the wave was pushed so far back in the bottom lane, and Darshan set that up, he's now able to come back, grab this wave, but he's able to use the rest of the time top lane to help out his teammate, make sure that Copy isn't under threat of getting 1v1 by Soligo.
And it's nice. They're making some sort of a play across the map to try to counteract what Evil Geniuses are doing, especially like we talked about for the top half of their team. Making sure they're set up in a position, so now Darshan is even more confident split pushing bot lane. You've even got a good, I'm sure the shove will be going back towards them set up by Evil Geniuses, but they don't have to worry about the turret being threatened. The big thing I'm still wondering though is when, if ever, can Cloud9 make a play to punish Cowrie?
It's going to be tough, right? They definitely need control. They can't afford to be giving over members right before any of the upcoming dragons, as we saw from Surdy going down previously. But we're also seeing Cloud9, they're kind of struggling. Neither team has super strong crowd control, right? They don't have really good ways to get team fights started, and so
Outside of
whenever
Lissandra,
whenever Cloud9 don't have vision control, it's really hard for Trevor to just go in and get fights started in the way that he wants to. So it feels like Cloud9 are going back to a bit of the more comfortable 1-3-1 playstyle that we saw in the first game, even though their composition isn't as dedicated to that kind of play.
To me, it feels like a 1-3-1 against a 4-1. Am I correct in my assessment?
Yeah, in general, but we're also seeing that Evil Geniuses now, it feels like their 4 has gotten a big buff. Soligo has completed their Rylai's, so the Imperial Mandate now does its job pretty effectively. But Evil Geniuses, oh no!
Oh, this is the play I wanted to see, but it unfortunately is thwarted, thrown back into their face with so much damage from Cowrie and Smoothie onto Copy. Now they are the ones running for the hills. No True Shot Barrage up for Cowrie, so no snipes just yet. But it's just unfortunate. It's unlucky for Cloud9, because that's kind of what I wanted to see. Utilize the Lissandra to try to pick Cowrie.
Yeah, Cloud9, I feel like it's still an okay trade of resources, right? The fact that Copy has lost his flash and Cowrie has lost his flash means that you might be able to lock him down next time. If Copy finds a similar flank and is able to get that crowd control, Darshan can stack on top of it, and suddenly the main damage dealer from Evil Geniuses is at threat of going down. But Cloud9, they're going to be running into trouble if they aren't here first, and it looks like Evil Geniuses, because of all the resets, because of the play Cloud9 tried to make, Evil Geniuses is now in control of the choke points around the river. They're forcing Cloud9 to come into them.
And Copy still fishing for those claws into the back line of Cowrie, who's level 13, and so is Copy. He has the same, he's almost got the same experiences as the side of Cloud9, even in their top positions. The only one who's top on. Beyond that is Darshan at level 14. But you see 13, 13, 13 on the side of Evil Geniuses. They're in a pretty excellent position.
Yeah, they're very happy. There's so much extra gold, so much extra experience on Cowrie. He is insanely strong. You see him just like chunking out members of Cloud9.
What?
The Dragon started. I feel like
Cloud9,
Cloud9, they need to manufacture a fight where they are in position, but the True Shot Barrage.
Yeah, that does so much damage. And Coffee on the flank, he was looking for the play on the other side. He gets caught out. Saligo has the flash. He's surviving, but finally he's sniped down. They've got one, and Tomio is going golden. This could be Cloud9's fight unless Cowrie and Surdy can pop off in here. They've got everybody. They've got the picked, and Wixie to fall to the double kill Surdy.
Great stuff, and Cowrie looking great. Oh my god, the blind Q over the wall, Alex. Evil Geniuses in total control, and that was effectively without Saligo. Saligo died without even using his ultimate for more than a second, and now Evil Geniuses rout Cloud9. They have control of the Baron. They're in control. They will be able to do this and then still be on the map for the upcoming Dragon because of how long the Cloud9 members are actually dead. Great stuff coming through. Cowrie found the damage that he actually needed, and as they reset, they are so far ahead.
Oh, I mean, just taking a look at this play, I respect them going for this, but here, using the Frozen Tomb onto Saligo, you have to always focus Cowrie, in my opinion.
I mean, if you can get to him, that's the big thing, right? Look how far back he's playing. He's waiting for all the cooldowns to be used before he goes in for any of the extra auto attacks. And that is the mark of a good Ezreal player, knowing how aggressive you can be. And then, you know, the lucky Q, the smart Q, whatever you want to call it, over the wall. Cowrie's able to find so much damage because he's not overextending. He's playing calm and control. And with the amount of Qs he has, the amount of gold he's able to just bring to bear, it just feels like nobody can actually get to him even when he doesn't have flash.
Well, now they really can't because he has a Quicksilver Sash that he has built up as well. So now that idea, the window to try to punish Cowrie is even smaller. You have to see if you can force out a Quicksilver Sash before you then get your Frozen Tomb on top of him as well. It's just looking like that's going to be nigh impossible for Cloud9 as they push up. They'll get objective bounties off that first turret, but it's at the trade of this entire bot lane.
Yeah, and Evil Geniuses can keep going. This is not a base race that Cloud9 wants to opt into. Even with Darshan in the top lane, they're going to get counter-shoved in the mid lane. Darshan needs to be threatening the inhibitor at this point, and they are just too slow as all the gold gets funneled right on into Evil Geniuses. They open up the base, and they're going to be doing it in 2 lanes.
You can tell the copy is threatening to engage another fight, but this is all setting up
they don't have
a 4-1 for Evil Geniuses, with the 1 being mid lane so close. And like you had called out, Sheehan had gone for a reset because he was going for his marks instead, needing something, some sort of insurance to get them back into this game.
Ooh, Cowrie playing with fire a little bit. The rest of his team wants to leave.
He's got Quicksilver, look at that. That's what I was talking about, even with the gobble coming in from Trevor. Trying to keep Copy alive. Dirty has not been a part of this fight just yet. Instead, focusing on escorting these minions. A nice pull from Saligo, forcing out the Lamford's fight from Sheehan. They can get a little bit of damage. They instead opt to heal and then disengage from this, but it's still an onslaught, a push, shove, and a siege for EG that will threaten the base in the entirety of this game.
Yeah, we get to see exactly the difficulties that both teams have without the crowd control to go in. Ooh, Nar's tired. He can't build up a rage. This could be the end.
This could be. They've got a lot of damage on the one side. They've got 2 waves of minions pushing into these Nexus turrets. Copy's getting a lot of damage onto Tomio, but they don't want to force the issue just yet. Instead, they need to see if they can force Cowrie. They got to get this play to work out. Now, as they chase down EG outside of their base, they turn their attention briefly towards Cowrie, but Cowrie is keeping them at bay, perfectly distanced away. But Cowrie jumping over the wall again, skirts danger.
Oh my gosh, the Silvermere Dawn is enough to keep him alive. He's able to use the cleanse to make sure that none of the crowd control matters, and now he's looking for Copy.
He just should solo kill him. Nice. Zonia's there, but he's still dead, using Frozen Tomb on himself only, delaying the inevitable as Cowrie hunts him down. He's on a rampage, and Darshan, you just jumped into the Lion's Den because Cowrie's got a double kill while Sheehan does get shut down on top of him. And sure, 2 kills for Sheehan. It's still a lot picked up by Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, I mean, that's still a lot of money going over. I feel like Harry might have gotten a little bit too hyped there. He ends up trading more gold back in that one kill that he gives over than both the kills that he picked up on
Yep.
Darshan and Copy. But it's still a morale damage, right? Carry feels so strong. He's able to go for these things. And Tomio looking for Wixie.
Looking to get the pick on the Wixie without the help of Cowrie should be impossible.
Huh.
Maybe not, because he has to use that Guardian's Angel pretty quickly just to get out of dodge with Trevor showing up as well. Sheedan can continue to chase down himself. Now he's become the wolf for Evil Geniuses, who have to run away, TP behind them from Copy to try to hunt them down. But this is all while Super Minions are wailing away at the Nexus turrets inside of their base. So even if they want to have this play, they've lost one of the turrets.
They've lost one structure, and now they're struggling to get back. I mean, it ends up being okay. They didn't lose a whole lot. A clutch root by Saligo allows Evil Geniuses to leave. But you gotta go for those kind of things, Magical. You're so far behind. You gotta find some way back in, because you are outranged. You are outscaled. You gotta find anything that looks even remotely okay, because Evil Geniuses, as now they set up to take control, they're in a position where with 2 inhibitors down, they're going to be threatening to pick up the Infernal Soul. And yes, while it's a weak soul, it's still a soul. Right, you get so much extra stats and so much damage that comes along with it.
To really illustrate how far behind Cloud9 are, you need to look no further than Sheedan. He's only on 2 stacks at the moment of Kindred. Way far behind. He's doing no damage to Saligo as they now chase down Lamb. Lamb's Respite will come out, but look at Copy on the other side fighting against Saligo, nearly getting soloed out. Flash in from Saligo. Zerti has not been a part of this fight. They might be able to get the pick onto Saligo first, but it's going to be a trade of mid laners at the same time with Zerti in the middle of 3 members to chase down Sheedan. One more lunge is all it needs, but they kite it out perfectly for Wixie to shut him down.
Oh, Cowrie not quite getting the snipe out, but it's enough to dissuade Evil Geniuses from trying to end the game. They're going to have to go right on back to the Dragon. So Evil Geniuses overextending just a little bit in that play. But, again, an equal situation like this is still fine for Evil Geniuses. They are still so far ahead. Cowrie wasn't really brought to bear in that last fight because he was so far behind. Sturdy and Saligo got a little bit too far forward. And with the Baron up at the same time, Evil Geniuses, they control the map.
They still reign supreme across Summoner's Rift with 2 members up that can easily take down this Baron quickly. All right, look how fast they're melting it. With the Viego-Ezreal combo, it will be spotted out with the blue trinket. So they will be forced off of the objective, but if given a little bit more time, if Cloud9 ever shirk the responsibilities of maintaining some sort of vision control around the Baron pit, it'll be easily taken by Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, the inhibitors are coming back up as well. You see that the last minion, or the last super minion, has just perished for the side of Evil Geniuses. So they don't have the same kind of free pushing moving around as we are starting to see Cloud9. They're starting to try and take control. The players that we gotta pay attention to, Sheedan and Darshan, they're the ones with the most gold here for Cloud9. They need to go big. And Darshan did a good job locking down Saligo last fight, but he's gotta lock down Cowrie.
And that's going to be difficult, especially with the Silver Mirror Dawn in his inventory. We already saw with a quick Silver Sash how quick out of danger Cowrie can get. Now it's even better because you already got yourself that advantage. You've got full built Ezreal to constantly chunk at anyone who's trying to chase him down, and then he could just go for a cat and jack cleanse after that and make sure that they can chase down Cloud9 like they're doing right now. They've got so much damage on the Copy and Sheedan on the other side. Sheedan is nearly low. Copy will barely survive thanks to the Devour, and same with Darshan creating a little bit of space, but Evil Geniuses can continue to hunt them down all the way back to their base. They've got everything possible that is needed, with Darshan getting latched by the last embrace that was stolen away by Tomio for his own killing spree.
Great stuff coming through. Evil Geniuses turning things around. The Cowrie we knew and loved is back, and Sheedan can't even try and prolong the game.
He's attempting. He's doing his damnedest to keep this game under wraps, but it's all Evil Geniuses at this point. They have come out to fight back so well in this game. They pick up an ace right at the end. And here, they'll finish it off with a 1-1 tied series between Evil Geniuses Academy and Cloud9 Joshi. Who would have expected that after such a devastating Game 1 loss by Evil Geniuses to bounce back in such a commanding way? And while they've had the KDAs, it doesn't really matter. This game has been over for some time.
Yeah, it's been over for quite a while. You wouldn't like Cowrie when he's angry. 8, 1, and 7, more than 10 CS per minute, 32 minutes into the game as they actually close it out. Evil Geniuses
Make it
fire
9.
back, and it was on all parts of the map.
They want double digits for Cowrie, I think. They really want to get the double digits. As Wixie has been doing a good job of sidestepping, but the damage on the Sheedan underneath, all the way back in the back of the fountain. He has taken so much. The minions finally end the game.
Crazy stuff coming through. Cowrie having a little bit of fun with his food at the very end, but this is what we were expecting, right? Cowrie, the most valuable prospect, is back, looking for his opportunity to carry the rest of his team. It's been looking so different. That series was night and day. First half was all Cloud9. Second half, Evil Geniuses came back alive. And seeing that both teams are showing signs of life gives us excitement about both these teams looking towards the rest of their season. Evil Geniuses is a team that we expect to climb the ladder. Cloud9 still waiting for the rest of their roster to come back. And then they will have an opportunity to really put the hurt on a lot of other teams.
But I will say, there's so many props to Evil Geniuses where a lot of things were similar in how they would function for the team.
Very similar draft.
Very similar draft, but the difference was just better executed. They're not making nearly as many mistakes, overextending, getting caught out. Pretty much every lane was doing fine, even the bad matchup of Gnar and Fiora.
Yeah, it was a good stuff ultimately, right? We're still seeing a little bit of their historical willingness to go a little bit too far forward, right? Sergi's still flipping a little bit harder than perhaps he really needs to given the rest of the state of the game. But these things come with time. We will continue to see Evil Geniuses improve. They won't continue making the same mistakes going forward. And with that, going for 1-1, Evil Geniuses have remembered how to win again. It's not only against Golden Guardians that they can win, they're now doing it against 2 teams.
Let's just hope we don't have a repeat of last split or the split before that for Evil Geniuses where they end up one-1ing every single team across Academy. But we'll find out later. For now, Josh, we're going to toss it to a break. When we come back, we have an interview set up with our host, Sierra. Make sure you stay tuned.
That hot summer's right around the corner. But before we get to that heat, let's take one last look at Proving Ground Spring, shall we? Now, Bucio's got a little bit of an ambush going on. The Guardians have been duped. They're going, what is this? This is flabbergasted. Wait, no, I can't watch. I can't watch. Please go to the next one. Now, what do we got here? Looks like the thieves have rounded up the horses, but, there's no honor among thieves. And, the brothers are killing brothers. This is despicable. Yep, that's Jimmy. Turtle the Kid's gonna come to town. 100 Thieves ain't got nothing to say about it. He's wheeling and dealing, gunning and running. But wait, hold on. You've got Sheriff Bucio and Deputy Jimmy to come save the day too. Turtle the Kid's got friends. Bandits ain't got friends. I've seen good, I've seen bad, but that was ugly. Now what the thieves gotten themselves up to this time? By golly, that's a Texan bullworm. You can tell by the purple scales, the little tentacly thing coming out of his head, and all the eyes as well. That really gives it away. Now let's see what they got. Wait, Armeo's coming over the wall with a lasso. He's gonna wrangle that son of a gun. They're running off into the sunset together. That was a nice refresher from spring. Hope to see y'all in summer on the range. Now where's my sweet tea?
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our post-game interview. I'm sitting down with Smoothie, support for Evil Geniuses. After managing to take a game off of Cloud9, I was a little worried for you guys after that first game, I'm not gonna lie, but at least it feels good to return the favor to them.
Yeah, some unlucky stuff happened in game one, but we didn't really let that affect us too much. Kind of just like chopped it up to being in a bad game, and we kind of just ran it back to second game with a similar draft. So it felt nice beating them that way.
The wins are always nice, that's for sure. But heading into the second week of Academy now, how are you feeling about Academy as a whole now that you have a week under your belt and looking into week 2?
I think it's interesting. It's a lot different than playing LCS, of course, where we have a lot of veterans and like big voices. I think the team right now, we are just starting to gel together slowly. We actually had a lot less time to practice because Kyrie wasn't here until like a couple days before the season even started. So we're learning really fast. So I'm really glad to see that. And everyone on the team is really talented.
Well, how has that been for you too? Because obviously, being the new one into this roster, you're playing with a team that has established ways, maybe an established way of playing. How has that adjustment been?
Um, it's been pretty easy, honestly. Like,
Okay.
I wanted a team that was like, the team was actually pretty like raw initially. They didn't have like too good of like a macro sense, which I can bring a lot to. And everyone is really good mechanically, which is really nice and good for Academy. So I think this team, this roster in general, has a lot of potential to be really good. We just need to be able to round out our flaws, and a lot of things are starting to come back together for sure.
Okay. And then, as someone who has had a lot of LCS experience and just league experience in general, do you find yourself being that voice for this team, considering the amount of skill that they can have and what you think that they could be?
I'm trying to be. I'm trying to be like as best of a teacher and as best as like a teammate as I possibly can. And I think everyone is really, really open to feedback, which is extremely nice to work with. And everyone is like, everyone just wants to win, right? At the end of the day. So
Yeah.
it's really nice working with like really driven, like newer players, that really want to just win. So everyone is just trying their best to, just be the best they can be.
That's great, though. So, for yourself, you did take a break from competitive play in spring. Now back at it. What made you want to join EG Academy in the first place?
For one, EG is just like a pretty, I guess, like winning org. I think like just a good org in general, and also the roster for this academy team, just looked really good, right? From what I saw in Champions Queue, the players were really mechanically talented, and I thought that I could fit a void that they were missing. And so far it's looking pretty good. I really like playing with everybody so far, and it's unfortunate that I can't be in there in person right now because of like some visa issues. But when we're there, we're gonna kick some ass. Oh, sorry.
No, breeze past that. We're going on. We're going on. So you're talking about the shame that you can't be there. Do you feel like it adds a bunch of difficulties, the fact that you do have to be playing remote as opposed to at a location like everyone else?
It's not ideal having to play like Champions Queue and the stage games with 60 ping, and just not being able to
Yeah.
interact with my teammates overall. That kind of sucks, right? But it is what it is.
Yeah.
Hopefully it gets resolved in the next couple weeks, and we'll be back in action.
Canadian issues, am I right?
Yep, seriously.
Yeah, feel you on that one. So then, final question for yourself. Obviously, a great player. How would you rank yourself amongst all the supports that we have in Academy right now? Because there's a lot of skill, but you bring a lot of skill to that as well.
Um, I mean, I haven't versed everybody yet, so I have no clue currently, but definitely in the top three, I think. If everyone's gelling together and playing well, and everyone's listening on the team, I think I can bring a lot to the team. So, just depends on how fast we develop our team bonding or team synergy, I guess.
Okay, okay. And then before I let you go, any final words that you have for anyone out there? Any shout outs? Floor is yours.
Just shout out to all my teammates. Everyone played like really competently today, even though we lost our first game. So good job to everybody, and it's just the beginning, right? So it's not about how we start; it's about how we end.
I love that. Thank you so much for sitting down with me. Have a great rest of your day. Enjoy some sunshine.
Thank you.
Thank you. As for us, we're going to head back over to the desk, talk a little bit about the game as well, start setting up our next